Hi everyone. I wanted to put out just a very brief video. I know there's two other videos in this module that are both super important. So please make sure that you have watched both of those, especially the first one in the module here. Really goes over the meaning of a peer-reviewed article, how they come to be, why they're so important, so on and so forth. That I hope can give you some insight into this whole process. This briefer video will just go over, just kind of highlighting. I really want you guys to do correct APA format in your reference listing. Your readings will go over this more in depth, especially the Landrum and the APA manual readings. If you don't have an APA manual, I highly recommend that you get one. It is a required text for the class, but it will serve you well in years to come. Okay, so really the message that I want to drive home today was that referencing format in APA world is very important. And I think that sounds really simple, but I can tell you that just formatting in general in APA is something that's overlooked or students don't take really seriously or things like that. I can tell you, and I admitted this in my first video, I think, that when I first started, when I was doing my undergraduate degree, even like as a sophomore or junior or something, and I started learning about this stuff, I was like, why? Why do people care so much about formatting? Just get your message across in the writing and it's all good. Well, it took me a few years, honestly, to really start to understand why formatting is so important. So we're going to talk very briefly about that. The first reason why formatting is so important is because as a student, graduate student, professional in psychology, as you kind of grow, you will be reading more and more and more psychology peer-reviewed articles. You will quickly come to learn and appreciate the formatting because everything is in the same format, and you can count on things being in the format, which means things become more predictable, things become easier to read and handle and to find references, and it makes everything move a lot faster, believe it or not. So it really helps organize the profession in terms of the writing and format, and it just helps in general. Two, I think it gives I think it gives the profession an identity. And for those of you who are either in other sciences or have taken English comp classes, you may have learned about APA style writing or APA formatting, and it is looked at as a kind of premier style or premier format that gives us kind of an identity, which is kind of cool. The third thing that I really like about APA writing is that it teaches discipline, and I think writing requires some good discipline, just like in many facets of life. And I think that formatting correctly shows that someone is disciplined in their craft, which is a nice thing. And when you get good at it, it feels good. So this is the reference list that I provide you as an example in the module. This is from a student who submitted her reference list to me. So this is not something you would see on at the end of a paper, because I ask you to add in whether it's full text or whether it's through interlibrary loan, which I don't know if any of hers are. I don't know if they are, but if they're through interlibrary loan, then you put it up here. She listed her pro articles all under the pro article heading, and then her con articles under this heading. I do want to make note that she found more than 10 articles. You're only required to find and identify 10 for this assignment. You don't have to identify 14 or 15 or whatever she had. This is just an example. So I need these two pieces here included. But I just wanted to point out the actual reference here and how nicely it's formatted. I just wanted to highlight, I guess, because it is important, all the little things that go into a reference. And there are places you can find this, so you don't have to take notes right now. But just notice things like there's a period and a comma here to separate the names. There's an and sign, not written out and at the end here to include the last author. There's a period after the date in the title here of the actual article. The first letter is capitalized, but the letters to begin the other words are not capitalized except for after the colon. Then there's one. Okay. There are some exceptions to this if it's a proper noun of some sort. The journal title is italicized, and it does use capitals for the beginning of each of the words. Okay? So there are little things like this that really go into the reference listing. Now this is for just a regular peer-reviewed article. There's one thing that I want to show you. How much time am I taking up here? Okay, we're only at the 5-minute mark or so. I give you this link in the module. This is a lifesaver for a lot of people. I know it was for me. Purdue OWL or APA formatting guide. It's a really kind of no-nonsense, simple guide to APA format. You still need your manual for kind of the finer questions. This is just a basic guide, but it is nice and it's helpful and it's online. So it's, some people like that more than thumbing through a book. But most of your articles, referenceless articles and periodicals, they should most all should be articles in a periodical. So your kind of wheelhouse is going to be right here. Whether it's paginated by volume or by issue, you follow the steps there. So is there an issue number? Is there not an issue number? You're not going to be doing an article from a magazine or a newspaper. In this paper, you may have books, so you would go to books. The basic format for books, is it an edited book? And I don't mean like did someone edit the book? Of course, someone edited the book, but I mean like an edited book that's where leaders in the field might publish a book that has multiple other authors to author different chapters. So it's called an edited book. And those require a special citation or reference list, okay? So that's really where most of your stuff should fall, in an article, in a periodical, or a book. Really, there could be some other things on there. Maybe there's one website, if it's like a government website with some government census statistics or something like that, that would be okay. But it mainly needs to be peer-reviewed or by a leader in the field, and a book. A peer-reviewed article or a book by a leader in the field. There are a few exceptions to that for this paper, but that's where you should pretty much land. So you just really got to follow that format. So this is what I'll kind of be looking for here. You don't have to organize it this way, but I do need all this information to see that you're thinking about, is it pro, is it con, or both. It can be both pro and con articles that don't fit neatly into either category. That is totally okay. No worries about that. And then is it full text online, or are you ordering it through Interlibrary Loan? I just want to know that too. So, okay guys, well, I know this is just a very small piece of the pie here. If you haven't watched my other videos, please do, because this is just one little thing I thought I would do because it's Sunday evening and I thought I'd make a video for the course. So I hope you're all doing well and have a great week.